Saudi Arabia and the United States used to be allies. That was before the Saudis decided they wanted to team up with two of the greatest superpowers in the history of the world, Russia and China.
And now it wants to be a part of BRICS.
Saudi Arabia is reportedly asking to join BRICS.
This alliance could be the beginning of a new world reserve currency that dethrones the US dollar. Today we are going to talk about why the Saudis want this alliance in the first place, and more importantly, what the ramifications will be for every one of us in the near future. The alliance is called BRICS. BRICS is an acronym for the 5 major emerging global economies, namely Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. The grouping was established in 2006 with the aim of promoting economic development and cooperation between these 5 countries. BRICS nations represent almost 3 billion people, or 42% of the world population, and account for around 17% of global GDP and approximately 25% of the world's total land area. BRICS countries also have significant advantages, including a large share of the world's energy and natural resources. Everything began after Saudi Arabia decreased its oil production by 2 million barrels, causing increased inflation in the United States. This led to President Biden threatening Saudi Arabia with unspecified consequences and even proposing to pass the NOPEC bill, which would challenge the security of Saudi Arabia. As a result, Saudi Prince Mohammed bin Salman decided to make a big move. He sent an official request to join Russia, China, and India in the BRICS alliance. BRICS has a lot to offer Saudi Arabia, with serious economic and military capabilities. The bloc is also a significant political force, with members having a growing influence on the international stage. The group has the potential to challenge the traditional Western-led global order and create an alternative power base. BRICS countries are also united by their commitment to economic and political cooperation, and have formed a variety of joint initiatives to further their shared interests. A contrasting group similar to BRICS is G7. The International Intergovernmental Organization is composed of the 7 largest advanced economies in the world: the United States, Germany, Japan, France, the United Kingdom, Italy, and Canada. The aim of the organization is to promote economic cooperation and global governance. People generally have a positive view of G7, but many non-Western nations believe that G7 designs policies that are only favorable to them. A classic example of this is the carbon tax. This pro-environment measure has gained popularity within G7 nations. Its goal is to ensure all nations are helping the planet stay healthy, but this carbon tax will most likely only have an impact on industries in developing countries. Developed countries emitted a lot of carbon during their industrial developing phase, but are now punishing BRICS countries for trying to do the same. Recent events have further divided G7 from BRICS when Russia declared war on Ukraine. It led to Saudi Arabia cutting oil production by 2 million barrels daily. The United States was upset because it led to an increase in oil prices from $91 to $94 a barrel, which negatively impacted the United States economy. Additionally, higher oil prices led to inflation and a decrease in consumer spending. Furthermore, the United States relies heavily on oil imports from Saudi Arabia, and a decrease in production would reduce the supply of oil available for US consumption. This conflict has elevated into Saudis threatening to breach the Petro agreement, an informal arrangement that was established in the early 1970s. Under the agreement, Saudi Arabia agreed to price all of its oil exports in US dollars and to reinvest a portion of its oil revenues into US Treasury bonds and other financial instruments. In exchange, the United States agreed to provide military protection for Saudi Arabia. It has helped to reinforce the US dollar as the primary international reserve currency, and has also provided the United States with a steady source of funding for its military operations in the Middle East. In addition, it has helped to strengthen the relationship between the United States and Saudi Arabia, which has allowed the United States to exert a greater influence in the region. This is now all in jeopardy. Saudi Arabia no longer needs the security of the United States, as they have been making defense deals with the BRICS superpowers of China and Russia. They also need the United States' money much less, as the BRICS nations consume some of the most oil of any country in the world. When Saudi Arabia joins BRICS, the US economy will take a huge hit as interest rates and oil prices skyrocket. Not only that, the implementation of a new reserve currency will hurt the power of the United States dollar dramatically. The new BRICS currency would be backed by gold, instantly making it more valuable and real. In recent history, many governments, including the United States, use a fiat currency, which is not backed by any physical commodity. This type of currency is only real in the sense that it is honored by the government who issued it. The problem is, it is subject to inflation, debasement, volatility, and political influence. The United States gains global power through the US dollar by using it as the world's primary reserve currency. This gives the US a significant advantage over other countries since it can borrow money more cheaply and its citizens can purchase foreign goods and services more easily. The US dollar is also widely accepted as a medium of exchange in many countries and is used to price a variety of commodities, such as oil. The US also has an influential role in the global financial system, which further reinforces the power of the US dollar. With the implementation of this new reserve currency, the United States loses all of its power. Aside from joining BRICS, Saudi Arabia is also planning to make huge investments into the European market. The football clubs Manchester United and Liverpool have been put up for sale for $3 billion and $1 billion. And Prince Abdulaziz bin Turki Al Faisal has told the BBC that they would be willing to buy them if a private sector is allowed to come in. This means that the Saudi Arabian investors could purchase huge shares in the club, further controlling two of the biggest sports teams in Western culture. This wouldn't be the first time that the Saudi Arabian government has made multi-billion-dollar investments, as they have plans to create tourist hubs like The Line and Pangeos, along with their recent investments into the world of golf, paying out the largest contracts in the sport. The Saudis have money, and if they join the highly populated growing nations of BRICS, the group grows as a force to be reckoned with. Many are concerned about the motives of the leaders of China and Russia due to their potential for aggressive foreign policy, their increasing global influence, and their involvement in activities that could pose a threat to global security, such as cyber attacks and military interventions. Some are concerned about the human rights records of both countries and their involvement in activities that could undermine global stability. Everyone is watching, and so are we. We can't wait to see how things play out. Thank you for watching to the end. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button so you can be informed in every business conversation.